Rejected ballots. Total rejected ballot is 198. The total of the votes in the box is 40,165. Per the results, and by the court order, I do hereby announce and declare that Patrick Yao Boama has been elected as the MP for Okankwe Central constituency. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right. So that's the declaration for the Black Ablekuma Okankwe Central constituency. And so we see that Patrick Yao Boama is about to address the press. So let's engage him. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, media. Thank you very much for your patience. I know you've all waited for some time to listen to the declaration. In elections, to compete is part of democracy. To lose is part of democracy, and to win is also part of democracy. So let me congratulate my competitor, the National Democratic Congress, and also use the opportunity to thank the teaming supporters of the MPP in the Okankwe Central constituency and the National Party at large. We fought a good fight, we waged a very good campaign, and God has been so good to us. We thank the good Lord for giving us victory. Thank you for the support from the leadership of our party and from Parliament. You can see the majority leader here and some members of Parliament, as well as some members of the general public and the constituency around to support and witness this very important declaration. I thank you very much, media, for your presence.
Baba Sadi said this is illegal. Baba Sadi says this is illegal. Right, so that's the MP elect for the Okankwe Central, Patrick Yao Boama, declared by the Electoral Commission as the MP elect for the Okankwe Central constituency. And so by way of update, the constituency where Baba Sadiq was earlier declared as winner has now been declared for Patrick Yao Boama, the MPP parliamentary candidate for the Okankwe Central constituency. And so, as you can see, they are taking a picture. Majority leader Alexander Penyo-Makin, Patrick Yao Boama, and also the caucus of the MPP in the Greater Accra region. We see the regional chairman of the MPP, Chairman Agohum, giving a hug to Patrick Yao Boama over there. Again, majority leader there. And so we are still here, and then we see that the coalition is still ongoing. It seems to be a day for declaration of for the MPP parliamentary candidate for the recollation exercise. We can see that for that process, for the Ablekuma North, they are still seated, yet to continue the process. But we do not see the parliamentary candidates for the NDC, Rabna Obin, seated. But we can see Nana Owusu Free of the MPP seated patiently for the process to continue for that of the Ablekuma North constituency. And so, by way of updates, Patrick Yao Boama has been declared as MP elect for Okankwe Central, and that is the updates. You see him walking out smiling after that declaration, and so that is the updates there. You see engaged majority leader. He continues to say that it's a prayer mode here, and we see that they are extremely happy about the process so far. So that's the situation here at the Coalition Center here at the Greater Accra Regional Office of the Electoral Commission. We'll be bringing you more updates at and when we get more declarations after the coalition for the outstanding constituencies. So far, declarations for Tema Central, Obuasi East, Okankwe Central, in Sawam Adweji, and Ahafuano North have all been declared. And so we are waiting for the other constituencies, which include the TMA South, Ablekuma North constituency, and some two other. So basically, that's the situation over here. Matthias, c'est pas. Thank you very much. But have you introduced them to Alice? Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. But MP is still not in? Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Kinako.
Get ready for the ultimate celebration.
GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Miss Africa awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICC, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter or host in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system, which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup, because on a production you see a number of people in the van, and so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets, and so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the track and do business with it.
It looks huge, but very affordable. Cost is really, really affordable. My experience with this EMI Awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.
ensued, and they stormed out saying that the process was illegal. But lo and behold, the declaration was done for the MPP candidates.
Yeah. Let's dwell on the illegality for a while. Yes, I realize that there's a few or no NDC presence here at all, and the argument is that what is currently ongoing is an illegality. It's because the party has gone to the apex court of the land, the Supreme Court, to file some processes. What has been the reaction of the EC to that? Is the EC aware that yesterday the NDC went to the apex court of the land and filed some processes seeking to stop what's happening today from going on?
Right, so according to Siwo Kweku, and apart from Siwo Kweku, Mr. Bano Bio, who is in charge of electoral services, is also here. From the engagement we've had from them, they are saying that they have not received any such process, and so the understanding is that yesterday's court ruling, they can go ahead with the coalition. If there is anything like that, then if it comes to their attention, they will meet the NDC in court. So that's the basis from which the coalition is going ahead as we speak. Well, so that's what the EC is saying.
Great. So let's talk about Blekuma North. At the point we heard the returning officer tell you, and for that matter, the country and viewers, that he was unable to go ahead. In fact, literally put, he was washing his hands of everything that was happening because there were a number of outstanding police stations that he doesn't have resource for, right? There were a number of outstanding polling stations that he doesn't have resource for, right? That's one. Two, he's been able to get about 25 polling station results, and he's authenticated these results with the NPP agent. He's unable to, however, get hold of the NDC agent to authenticate the 25. So given the fact that, first of all, even the 25 he has, the NDC's input is missing, and then there were more than 30 outstanding that he cannot, on his own, lay his hands on. He was bringing the entire exercise to a halt. He was surrendering everything to the EC. What's happening? What's the update to that?
Right, so exactly so. He insists that he cannot continue the process because they do not have some pin sheets. Now, I was here when the declaration was supposed to happen earlier, before today, and it stopped. Now, the EC had some pin sheets, the NDC also has some pin sheets, the MPP also has some pin sheets, but we are all aware that some of the pin sheets were torn and destroyed by some party supporters. And so, at a point where they began the coalition, where Sam George, Otokuno and others were here, the process was ongoing. But at a point where the EC does not have a pin sheet, they rely on the parties to get the figures from the pin sheet. So the NDC has a duplicate of the pin sheet for the original copy which emanated from the EC. At the point where the EC does not have, they depend on the parties. If the numbers are the same, they go forward. But with the ones that are not the same, they flag it out. So there was a point that all three do not have the pin sheet, and that was the bone of contention. But somehow the declaration was done with those without the outstanding ones. The same thing is ensuing today. It's at a point where there are some pin sheets that the MPP has, but the NDC does not have. There are some that the NDC has, the MPP does not have, and there are some that the EC too does not have. And so, for the NDC, the process cannot continue because there is no consensus. And so, as you can see, this is the table for Blekuma North. You can see that's the parliamentary candidate for the MPP, Nana Efriye also. They are here, the MPP are here, but the NDC is not here. And so the process has truncated as we speak.
That says Rabina Obin, the NDC's candidate, has not been here the whole of today.
They've been here. She was here with the party agents, with some NDC stalwarts. Tanko Computer was here, the deputy director for elections and IT for the NDC. They were here. So they began the process, but at a point there was disagreements because they believe that the EC did not have some original pin sheets, and so there was no way that the ones that the MPP has, which are photocopies of pin sheets, they cannot accept that, and so they cannot continue the process. Reason why the NDC parliamentary candidate Irabna Obin is not here.
Yeah, we'll bring Nadi in a moment, but then But then, of course, Tema South seat, that's the table for Tema South, and we've seen some movements in that regard. If, of course, there's an update for declaration, we'll definitely bring that to the attention of viewers. But then I want to find out from you, in all the declarations that have been done, have you seen the EC reference original, not photocopy, pink sheet? Have you, as media people here, been given access to know the pink sheet from which these collations have been done?
So for those that have been declared, we see original pink sheets, but sometimes we are asked to go out, so we cannot say if all the pink sheets were original or some were duplicates or photocopy or scanned copies, because at a point we were even asked not to stand here, we were asked to go out. The EC believe that when we are engaging the candidates and the agents, it brings confusion, and so we are asked to go out. But I can say that we've seen original pin sheets. For instance, for Tema South, you can see pin sheets on the table, original pin sheets. So just as you mentioned earlier, declaration for Tema South about to occur. You see Majority Leader Alexander Penyu Marking standing right beside the candidate, the MPP candidate, ready for the declaration by the Electoral Commission. As you can see, we are being asked behind the barricade, but we are trying to explain to them the process. Yes. So so that's the process. That's what happens here whenever
a declaration is about to be made. Interesting.
Have to go back, and it makes sometimes the work a bit difficult. But we are still waiting for the EC to finalize the declaration for the Tema South constituency, and so that we can go ahead. They are back seated, and so I'm sure that we can go ahead with our discussion.
Okay, so for Tema South, do you see NDC representation? Because I don't see the NDC representation. Do you see?
Not at all. As we speak in this coalition center, in this room, there are no NDC party agents, parliamentary candidates. They've all left the premise. They left together with Tanko Computer, who is the man in charge of elections and IT deputy for the NDC. So, as we speak, there are no NDC officials here.
Yeah, I think that would directly be in line with something that his director of election, Dr. Manembo Ama, has put up on social media, to the effect that the party rank and file should ignore whatever is happening here, and that it's just a conduit that the governing party is seeking to use for a state of emergency to be declared. And so, come January 7, after the party takes office, with John Dramani Mahama as president, all the wrongs, and I'm quoting him, will be righted. Right. So yes, I get that. So of course, Martin Ajay Kosa is here, who is the Tema South member of Parliament and also the parliamentary candidate for the NPP. It must be said that there was no declaration in Tema South because the process was disrupted. It led to a police station being torched, right? And so that's why the EC decided to move the declaration from the constituency all the way to Accra here at the regional office. And so this will not be one of the seats that were earlier declared in favor of one party and later reversed. We can mention some of them. So Fantiakwa North was declared reversed. And you talk about Tema Central was declared reversed. Okankwe Central declared reversed now. Which other one? Of course, Obasi East declared reversed. Right.
And that of Ablekuma North has not been declared.
Has not been declared. It was earlier declared, but not yet to be. A decision has to be taken on that. And as you have told us and viewers, the returning officer says it's practically impossible for him to continue with the exercise. So what he has done is to surrender everything to the superiors, and here I'm talking about the national EC, for a determination to be made as to the way forward. In all your conversations with Sribo Kweku and Bano Bio, has it ever come up about a possibility of rerunning any of the elections in any of the constituencies?
Right, so we sought to ask that question, specifically Bano Bio. So the day began here with Bano Bio granting an interview, the reason why they today are here to begin the process. So we asked that, is there a possibility after today that there can be a total re-election of the whole process, and he wasn't quite clear on that as to whether or not total re-election will happen or not. Definitely, since they are still here, we'll find out from them as to if this has occurred to them. You understand? So the EC has not really been explicit when it comes to that. But I also want to find out from you. The NDC is not here. I heard some agents asking that it's likely their plan is to go to court. So if they go to court, do they have documents to back that indeed the result declared here is not correct? How would they come by that?
Well, they have the primary document. If they do, it means that they should have the pink sheet. That is the primary document upon which the collation is done. And so what happens after getting hold of the primary document? You do simple addition, right? So from one polling station to the other, you just add the numbers. So if they add their numbers and they realize that the numbers do not tally with what has been declared here, that will be the basis for their case in court. And the judge will then listen to the parties and then compare the figures and then arrive at the conclusion as to where the determination should be. Yes, so yes, even though the NDC is not here, once it has the primary document, which is the pink sheet, it is clothed with the option of going to court and getting whatever reprieve that they are seeking given to them. Yes, another thing that I found curious was with the declaration by the returning officer for the Okankwe Central constituency. He mentions as directed by the court. In fact, he's the only one that had mentioned that, yes, the declaration done by the returning officer for Obuasi East. He said the honor done him vested, he referred to it as an honor. Is it because indeed yesterday at the High Court, Okankwe Central was mentioned? That's how come the returning officer is indicating that he is not reversing his original declaration just because the EC wants him to do that, but this is upon the directive from the court.
Exactly so. You heard right. I also heard that because we are all expecting that during declaration they say by the power vested in me as a returning officer of the Electoral Commission in the constituency, I am declaring so and so as the parliamentary candidate, the member of parliament elect. But indeed, he referred to the court order. I don't understand how that pans out really. But again, I want to find out from you. We know that declaration has been done for some constituencies, but today another declaration has been done. Some people are foreseeing two candidates showing up in parliament to be sworn in. How will that pan out?
That's a possibility, and to be honest with you, Gagulo, I foresee that happening, especially if these cases are not dealt with definitely, categorically and emphatically by the Supreme Court. Of course, you and I are in the media, and we've seen the processes that the NDC filed at the Supreme Court. So even though the EC tells us that it is yet to be served, we are aware that NDC has indeed gone to the Supreme Court. Now, if there is a definitive pronouncement from the Supreme Court which puts everything to rest, then you don't expect two candidates-elect to show up in Parliament. But if this uncertainty is still hanging on our necks, then trust me, we are likely to have that repeat itself come January 7 in Parliament, of course, before the swearing in of all members of Parliament elect. So, yes, again, back to the Okankwe Central Declaration. It throws in the question as to whether the EC can, on its own, without a directive from the court, and vary any earlier declaration. And of course, as you can, viewers can see behind you, the majority leader has been here from the beginning. And of course, I understand there's a declaration that is equally ready to be made. So let's go on.
So as you can see, declaration is about to be made. So we'll let's run it by the returning officer who is about to make the declaration.
Parliamentary election results for Ahafano Southwest. During the election, two candidates filed for nomination, and at the end of the day, they went through successfully. So at the end of the poll, as the name appeared on the ballot paper, Elvis Osei Mensah at the end of the poll had 16,058. Abubakar Sadiq had 15,372. The total valid votes, that was 31,430. Rejected ballots, 242. So the total vote cast was 31,672. Now, if you look at the total votes obtained by each and every candidate, Honorable Osei Mensah Dapaah had more votes, which is 16,058, than Abubakar Sadiq, who had 15,372. So by the powers vested in me as returning officer for Ahafo Southwest constituency, I hereby declare Elvis Osei Mensah Dapaah as MP-elect for Ahafo Southwest constituency. I so declare. Thank you very much. Representing New Patriotic Party, NPP, and Abubakar Sadiq also represented National Democratic Congress, NDC. My name is Kojo Kankam, KK for short.
So that's returning officer Kojo Kankam declaring the results for Ahafo Southwest. Let's hear from you. How do you feel about this declaration?
We only thank God. It's prayer. Prayer.
There you have it, the declaration being made by the returning officer of the Ahafo Southwest constituency in favor of the MPP parliamentary candidate. Again, we try to engage the candidates, but majority leader insists that it's a moment of prayer for them and that they are not willing to engage the media for now. So, IB, there you have it, another one for the MPP.
Yes, so far, how many declarations? 5? 6. 3 more to go. We were supposed to do 9 here. You've done 6, 3 more to go. And so the outstanding ones will be Tema South, of Ablekuma North, which has been on hold, and Domkwabena, which is also alive and ongoing there. So far, the 5 that have been declared have all been declared in favor. The 6 that have been declared have all been declared in favor of the NPP. Okay, and some of them there were no declarations. Like this one that we just witnessed, there was no declaration. The exercise was disrupted, and so you heard the returning officer talk about the fact that by the power vested in him as a returning officer, he went ahead and made the declaration. Of course, NDC, as we have always been saying, is missing here, and it's for a reason. They deem this exercise to be an exercise in futility because it's illegal. Now, yes, but we were also talking about some other outstanding issues, and we related to the fact that for Okankwe Central, for instance, the High Court made a determination, the reason why it had to come to where it had come to. Now, in Nsawamadu was declared when you were here. How was it like? How was the exercise like? And then culminating into the declaration, because we are aware that for Nsawamadu there was never a declaration. The exercise was truncated at a point. So this is like a fresh declaration. Was Frank Anodompre here, and how was his demeanor?
Right, so Frank Anodompre was here during the collation process. We spoke to him before the exercise. He was saying that he was calm and just waiting for the exercise to end. We met him downstairs after the declaration with some supporters having powder on him and all that. He says that he described it as a sweet victory. These are exact words by Frank Anodompre. And then after that, he walked out here. I'm sure he's going back to the constituency. So by way of the process, we saw that because they began the process at the Tesano school. I was there, and then the process truncated. And so when he came here today, the process began. For that constituency was smooth, but the NDC candidate wasn't here. Frank Anodompre was here.
All right,
and so that's what
South is ready.
Also transferred. So Tema South is also ready, and so we'll hand over to the returning officer in charge of Tema South constituency to do the declaration.
Tema South returning officer.
Please look in the camera.
My name is Amate Ajauto, the returning officer for Tema South constituency. Buni East. Tema South constituency, Buni East. And after the collation, these are the results for the Tema South constituency. Please, I can see from Martin Kwaku Aje Mensah Kosa obtained 46,663 votes. Christopher Bayre Baswente obtained 43,429 votes. Donko Moses obtained 140 votes. Boyong Idris obtained 76 votes. Total valid votes are 90,308. Rejected ballots are 844. Total vote cast are 91,152. Issues with 2 polling stations. They are DA Primary School, Bamri. They have 657 voters rather. Islamic JHS, Abuoso, also have 481 voters. If you add them up, you get 1,138 voters in these 2 polling stations. And they have issues. So even looking at the votes for the individual candidates, even if all the 1,138 voters in these 2 polling stations vote for the first runner-up, that is Christopher Baswente Bayre, still, Martin Aje Mensah will still lead him by 2,996 votes. I said, there are issues with 2 polling stations, and they are DA Primary School, and they are excluded from the valid votes that are casted. Bamri has 657 voters. Islamic JHS Abuoso has 481 voters. If you add them up, you get 1,138 voters. And as I said earlier, if all these voters vote for the first runner-up, that is Christopher Baswente Bayre, still the winner, who is Martin Aje Mensah Kosa, will still lead him by 2,096 votes. With the power vested in me as the returning officer for Tema South, I therefore declare Martin Aje Mensah Kosa as the MP-elect for Tema South.
Whoa! Thank you, Lord. I mean, after the coalition.
Right. So
the candidates had Martin Aje Mensah Kosa had 46,663. Christopher Bayre Baswente had 43,429. Donko Moses had 1,140 votes. Sorry. Boyon Idris had 76 votes. We had 90,308 valid votes. Then 844 rejected votes. And then we have the total vote cast are 91,152.
So that's the declaration for Tema South. Honorable Kosa, you've been declared. What's your impression so far?
Prayer. Thank you. We give thanks to God. It's been a long journey, but we thank God for His mercies, and we dedicate this victory to His blessings upon us. That's what I'll say.
Right. So that's the MP-elect being declared Honorable AJ Kosa?
We are 282 police stations for the whole constituency, and we have worked on the 280 police stations.
Right. So, as you have it, the declaration has been done, and then we are still here. I think that the majority leader wants some pictures to be taken by Mr. Kosa. Your message to the constituents.
Sorry? We thank God for this victory. We thank God for this victory. Yes.
What's the message to the constituents?
Well, we thank them for voting overwhelmingly, but the greatest of all the thanks goes to God Almighty.
Right.
So, trying to do the agenda.
Majority leader, we want to hear from you.
This wonderful blessings upon us.
It's been a difficult.
Right. So, majority leader insists that they are going to take a picture and that they will not engage the media. So that's the situation here. IB Martin AJ Mensah-Kosa has been declared as MP-elect for the Tema South again, and you heard from him that they are happy about the situation.
Yes. So first of all, this is one of the constituencies that declaration was not made, because once again there was disruption. In fact, that led to the torching or the burning of the police station there. And so you heard the returning officer declare the results and indicate that there are a number of outstanding polling stations. If you put the results or the voters on the voters register from that place, they constitute a little over 1,000. Now, if you decide to add that to the vote garnered by the NDC candidate, Martin AJ Mensah-Kosa will still win by more than 2,000 votes. That means that the outstanding polling stations have become immaterial or inconsequential to the determination of the outcome of the process there. And so therefore, Martin AJ Mensah-Kosa, who became a member of parliament after somebody would say a chaotic exercise in 2020, once again has been retained as MP by the people of Tema South. Yes, and like I said, this is one of the constituencies that if you speak to the NDC members, the leaders, they will tell you that they knew that they had lost. And so when you look at the constituency count or the count of the NDC, they don't add Tema South. So this doesn't come as a surprise. And I'm sure it will not come as a surprise to the members and leadership of the NDC.
Right, so 2 more to go. Ablikman North still here, and then that of Dom Kwabinya. We see the national youth organizer of the MPP also show up, Mustafa. So that's the situation. It looks like it's going to be a field day for the MPP.
Oh, yes.
All 9 going to them.
Yes. So far 2 outstanding, 7 gone. The 7 that have been declared have all gone to the MPP. Of course, I can see Michael Quay Jr. seated across there. Yes.
We know that after the declaration was done for Faustina Akugo, we know that Michael Quay Jr. met party supporters and said that there is life, and that's essentially conceding. So it's surprising that he showed up here today.
Well, Obed, you're right. At a point, he also organized a press conference and he demanded recollation at a point. Now, what I know is, and that's what we are about to find out here, as to whether the returning officer who made the declaration there, under the full glare of our cameras, right, is the same returning officer who will come here to redeclare, right? So that's one. Aside that, you also want to look at the number of polling station results that will inform this collation that is taking place here. And as to whether when the last collation was done, the declaration done, there were outstanding results. That's very critical. Like the Ablikmanov case in point, where as we speak, there are still outstanding polling station results that cannot be found. Now, we told that per CI 127, you can actually declare if you have more than 70% of the polling station results in. That doesn't mean that if you are able to get the 100% and that can overturn the earlier declaration or the result, you should not put that out. You should. But mostly that is done in consonance with the political parties, right? Now, so back to Dom Kwabena. What we are all looking forward to hearing from today's exercise is, first of all, the number of polling stations collated and then the outcome they in. I've heard Michael Kwe Jr. indicate that he won with 18 votes. Yes, even after declaration, that he won, after Electoral Makrugu had been declared as the winner, that he won with 18 votes. Let's find out. But of course, I can say that I'm not seeing any NDC representation there. Were they there before? Was Electoral here? Or it was just Tanko Computer and others who had come earlier here to observe, according to them, the illegality that was going on?
Right, so for Dom Kwabena, there was no NDC from the constituency, not even the party agents. But interestingly, when the process started, the MPP agents had a confrontation with the EC. He claimed that the earlier declaration, because the returning after declared, yes, he had a confrontation with him, and that he had connived with the NDC to declare for the NDC candidate, which is Faustina Elikprim. So it was a heated exchange, but Michael Kwe Jr. came in and told the agent that he should calm down and that they are here today to continue the process. So I've no NDC party agent from the constituency for Dom Kwabena for today.
Well, per the earlier or the original declaration, they were all in the 50,000 regions, and so the NDC candidate garnered a little over 50,000. The MPP candidate equally gathered a little over 50,000, but just that of Elikprim was more than that of Michael Kwe Jr., right? And so that's what has brought us here. Personally, I was surprised to hear Dom Kwabena as being part of the list of the outstanding issues that were being disputed. But nonetheless, we are here today and then we are waiting. It looks like that will be the only outstanding one, because if Abdulkumanov case is anything to go by, then you can be rest assured that we are not seeing the last of Abdulkumanov today. But of course, Moses Abo is here. He's a party executive. He was the former Greater Accra Regional Youth Organizer. He's still, okay, I thought when you went to contest the primaries, you had to relinquish that. It's good to know that you're still holding on to that. But of course, what do you make of what has happened here from the beginning?
So far, so good. Everything is under control. First of all, let me recommend the EC and also recommend the Ghana Police by ensuring a free and fair recollation. And I think so far we are done with, I think 6 or 7 constituents. Two more to go. It's left with Ablekuma North and then Dome Kwabena.
But Moses, you were here. The NDC were here also, led by Tanko Computer. They say whatever is happening here is complete illegality.
So there's law in this country, and they were there. They witnessed what was going on because they knew very well that they are losing, so they have to run away. You could see how he's telling the parliamentary their candidates to leave and go, because everything was smoothly. The media, you are here, and nothing happened. Nobody has gone to do any illegal pink sheet or any mafia work. Media is here, camera is here, and our people are here, their people are here. And then it is a play all game. So if you are losing and you think you are losing and you want to put propaganda into it, it's up to you. For me, I think the EC is doing a good job. The police are doing the good. The media also are doing the good job. And I'm sure you are going to report what you've seen here. It's not what somebody has said.
So IBM, there you have it.
Yes, so there's one matter, I don't know whether it's come to your attention, and that's Ablekuma North, where your party isn't able to produce pink sheet. The EC isn't able to produce some number of pink sheet, as well as the NDC, and that has stalled, and it doesn't look like we will see the end of that today.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you the truth of Ablekuma North. We have our scanned pink sheet. We have all our pink sheet. The NDC attacked our people and take all our pink sheets and even take the EC pink sheets. But so far, whatever they have tabulated today we are still leading, and it is, I think, 31 polling stations outstanding to go, which the NDC doesn't want to come in because we are able to bring 25 pink sheet, which is original, which the NDC know very well that with this 21 pink sheet that we have brought on board, when they count, we are still leading, and then they try to play a game, and then they left here. So we are still talking to the EC. For us, we want justice to prevail. We don't want to go against the law. We are waiting on the EC. The returning officer is telling us that he wants to take directive from the commission. So we are patient. We are patient, waiting for him to see whatever the directive will come. I will go by that.
Yeah. If there is an order for a rerun of elections in that constituency, is that something that will be welcoming to you?
I think that this one, the party, the national executive will answer that one. For me, I'm here to observe, to make sure my people are protected, to make sure everything goes on well and then free and fair. And so far, they know the 9 constituency that is left is for MPP. And then that's what they are playing that game. They will not accept. And their deputy, Mr. Tanko, whatever was calling, is trying to bring confusion here. But for us, we respect the law. We are not ready to because Ghana is for all of us. We don't have anywhere to go. When something happens in this country, where will we go? You will not even have this camera to report. We will all be running. So for us, we think that let's continue with a good job. Whatever the come out is, we'll take it in a good faith.
Right. Let's do some specific constituencies. For instance, Tema Central. We are aware that the returning officer himself didn't do the declaration, and that the deputy did that. E.B. Bright was here together with Eti Dapamoko. They walked out, and that the returning officer says that his life was in danger and could not do the declaration. It was handed over to the deputy.
Well,
they think that declaration is also illegal.
Well, I think you should be able to even answer this question. If a deputy, the main is not there, who takes over? The deputy. We witnessed when they took someone from Tema West to go and declare Tema Central. What about that one? I'm not talking about that one. But a place that you are telling me that the deputy have declared the result, it means the deputy is there. They all work together and they know what exactly was going on. But what about the one from Tema West? I moved him from Tema West to take him to Tema Central to go and declare for their personal interest. You think that one is okay? You think that one is okay? I want you to answer me.
Right. Well, the declaration has been done already, and it's gone in favor of.
Has been done. It's not the declaration. The writing has been done, which me and you know what they did here. It is not any illegal. It is the right process, and the pink sheet is open to each and everyone. Anybody who think will not understand can go to court. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Finally, before you go, what do you say to somebody who says the elections are supposed to be won at the polling station? There, your party lost massively. The NDC, regardless of what's happening here, is going home with 185 seats. So, was this fight necessary?
My party didn't lose this election. Our members didn't vote, all because some political appointees didn't treat the party people well. So some of the greed that led us to this thing, which the leader, the vice president, has advised us not to blame anybody. So I think we'll go back to the drawing table, reorganize the party, and bounce back and take what belongs to us.
Right. Thank you very much, Moses Abo, for this interview. So, So we are told that Majority Leader Leonard Apenyo Marking is currently addressing the media outside. We'll try and get him addressing the media as to whether or not the process has been good for the MPP so far. So let's get Majority Leader.
Let all of us conduct ourselves peacefully. For me, Dr. Bawumia has set a positive pace for all of us, the political class. The first time in the history of Ghana's elections that a presidential candidate has conceded long before the official declaration. We've never seen this in our history. So for me, that is one thing that we should all emulate. All these things about leading mob to attack vigilantes, attacking collation centers, insulting people and all that, it won't help us as a country. Sometimes, depending on how it goes, somebody will be happy with it. But you know, with time, it may catch up with you yourself who is benefiting from it today. So I would want to urge my colleagues in the NDC. We are all one family. We are a family. In Parliament, we don't fight. We all debate on issues. When we finish, we go and sit at the coffee area, eat together. Sometimes I wish the cameras would come and capture us there, where we buy food for one another, we eat together. We don't even find out whose food it is. Perhaps Ghanaians don't know that as a political class we are one. But at the same time, we should not create a certain impression to our followers that would lead them to be lawless. So let us all accept the process, encourage the electoral body to do its work, so that at the end of the day, democracy will win. Okay. There are times that we are not happy with certain decisions in Parliament, but that is democracy. Mr. Speaker makes determination. You would have to accept. If you disagree, you express it and you move on. So I would congratulate all my 7 colleagues who have won and wish them well. We are going to meet in Parliament. We are now in opposition. We had 82 seats previously declared officially. These 7 adding to make us 89. We have Domiko Abenya pending. We have Ablikumanot pending. We are hoping that the processes will be followed so that we know the final outcome and then we can count our numbers. If the 2 go for us, hallelujah, it brings us to 91. If we don't get the 2, we know we have 89. We'll move on. After all, in the 1996 elections, MPP had 61 seats only from the 200-member chamber. And that 1997 group, as determined as they were, as formidable as they were able to win us power in 2000. So for me, as a leader of government in business, leading my troops, I'm not perturbed at all with this defeat. It's a moment for us to reflect. Politics, there are bad times and there are good times. Today you win, tomorrow you lose. Tomorrow you lose, the next day you win. So we accept it, go into introspection, introspect, look at areas that we went wrong. The party itself will take a decision. National Council, I'm sure, will commission a body to investigate the causes of our loss. When the report comes, I'm sure the recommendations will be implemented and we'll take it up from there. After all, the NDC lost in 2000. The first time of losing power, they didn't give up. They regrouped, they reorganized, to the extent that Mr. E.T. Mensah of blessed memory came all the way, walked to the MPP headquarters at Kokomemle and asked for a copy of our constitution and used that as a model to enact a new NDC constitution. What a beauty of democracy. Through that reforms, you remember NDC those days, they had a co-chair. They didn't have a national chairman. And they did reforms. By 2004, they came in strongly. They were able to even reclaim some of the seats we are taking from them in 2000. For instance, Ashama's seat was ours. Was theirs. We took it. They took it back. Dadi Kotopon, they took that seat back. And some other seats. Fast forward, 2008, they were able to now win back power. And President Mills of blessed memory took power. Then we also went into opposition. 2012, it was give and take. We landed in court. Eventually, the court ruled, and we learned our lessons. That was when this issue of pink sheet came to the fore, that we must pay attention to the pink sheet. Through that, the outcome of the court proceedings and the judgment the court delivered, we read the court judgment learnt our lessons, and in 2016, the rule of the game was protect the pink sheet. Through that, we won 169 seats in Parliament and won massively for President Akufo-Addo, almost 1 million votes, which was also very unprecedented. Because if you compare what President Akufo-Addo had to what President Mahama had in 2012, President Mahama had won with barely 300,000 votes. And we winning with almost 1 million votes was very monumental, very huge. It had never happened before. But fast forward, by 2020, we slipped. We lost a lot of our seats, and it became 137. It was only a single seat, the Formina seat, that gave us a single majority. Come 2024, we've been dealt with. We've seen our smoothness level.
I agree with that.
Of course, the reality must be accepted. That is when you can make reforms. If you don't bring a closure to a situation, you will continue to be in depression perpetually. In every situation, accept.
Okay, sir.
And after accepting it, you can then move on and make changes. Therefore, I believe that with our current status in Parliament going into 2025, we would be very formidable, will be determined, act collective, and ensure that all the mistakes are corrected, rebrand our party, and make it attractive, and give hope to Ghanaians. We know we did so well. However, the people of Ghana have marked the script, and they say, go home. We'll do that, and I'm sure that come 2028, we'll make it. In the
right, so that's a leader of government business and majority leader Alexander Penyo marking addressing the media about the coalition process so far and what the defeat of the 2024 general elections means to the MPP. Ivy, you are in Parliament. You have been dealing with him. How do you assess his admission that they've seen their smoothness level?
Yes, it's something he's repeating. I was just hoping that we could get to ask him whether there's been any movement whatsoever relative to getting the expenditure in advance of appropriation passed. But we will attempt doing that before he leaves. He's now addressing the media in the Akan language. Yes, of course, he has always been talking about the fact that acceptance of the outcome of the process is the beginning of the healing process, right? And he's right. He talks about the fact that otherwise, if you keep being in denial, you'll be in depression in perpetuity. Yes, he's not the only one who has accepted the fate of the NPP. Of course, when you come to Parliament, there are even movements from his side to galvanize the support for him to lead the party in opposition as to become the minority leader. And so, yes, he's speaking in that regard, of course. And so it's understandable. But if what he said is anything to go by, then Gagulo, it means that the two, and that is Ablekuma North and then Domkwabenya, will remain outstanding. There will not be a finality to these two constituencies today. So it means that out of the 9 that the EC set out to resolve, 7 have so far been resolved, and all of them have gone in favor of the governing NPP. And as you heard him rightly say, there were 12 outstanding seats. If all of them were in added to the tally of NPP, they will arrive at 91. Now that means that NDC will have 185 with 4 independent candidates outstanding, or MPs elect. If you add, and I know for a fact that with the exception of the Asante Achim North MP elect, and that's OK Frimpong, who has told us behind the scenes that he would love to caucus with the NDC. Usually there are engagements in that regard. So let's take him out of the equation. Now,
right, so
Basically, Alexander Kwame Afenyomarkin is gone. So let me just wrap up on the conversation I was making. So if you add 3, see, A+ will caucus with the NDC. I tell you that for a fact. The Woolensey MP will caucus with the NDC. I tell you that for a fact. The Afram Place North independent MP elect will caucus with the NDC. What that means is that NDC will have its tally go up to 188, right? With NPP's 191. Even if the MP for Asante Atim North caucuses with the NPP, that will be 92. NDC will regardless have its absolute majority without ifs and buts. Of course, Nadide is here. She's been here with us. She's been our producer. So let's hear from her.
So Nadide, you've been here for a while. We just engaged Alexander Afenyomarkin, the majority leader. How do you assess the whole process so far? So far, 7 have been declared in favor of the MPP. 2 more to go. What's your assessment?
Dom Kwabenya and then which are the Ablekuma North, they are the remaining constituencies, and they are confident that those would likely also go their way, and eventually they'll have 91 in Parliament. Well, the process has been smooth, apart from the initial hitches we saw, where some reps of the NDC were here, but it's been largely peaceful. That's also primarily because the NDC had decided to boycott the process, so you don't have a lot of back and forth in relation to it. And we've just heard the majority leader, Alexander Afenyomarkin. Unfortunately, he didn't make room for us to ask follow-up questions, because one of the things we wanted to get from him is, with the redeclaration of some of the results, the NDC has hinted that for them they are going with the original declarations. So what is likely going to happen in Parliament if these individuals who have been declared winners of some of the constituencies like Tema Central, or Okankwe Central, show up on the day of Parliament? What is likely to happen? But one thing that you could also get from him as well is that as a party they need to accept where they are, that they've come from a position where in 1996 they were not even up to 70, and they were able to win the 2000 elections. Unfortunately, they lost in 2008. And the NDC, having lost power for the first time since we returned to democratic governance in 1992, also lost the elections in 2000. A lot of people at the time, I think if I recall correctly, I was much younger then, but people would say that the NDC would never come back to power. Yes, people said that it would never happen. But in 2008, the Ghanaian people found them appealing again and voted for them. And then they made their way to Parliament and, into government. When they also returned, they said that the MPP would like to be in opposition forever. And then, 2008, then comes 2016, and they lose it by a huge margin, never recorded at the time. And I think at that time it sounded so unbelievable. People thought that who could ever surpass that? Close to 1 million. Who would ever do that? It was unthinkable. Fast forward, after enjoying a huge majority, a very comfortable one in 2016, to halving it. Literally fought for their lives to get 137, and then luckily for them, the independent was from their fold, decided to give them the support, and then eventually they had that slim majority in Parliament. Fast forward to 2024, that 137 almost halved, literally. Now they are looking at getting 91. The NDC that lost embarrassingly in 2016 made inroads in 2020, and then eventually this margin, and we're seeing the president-elect winning by a 1.6 million margin, when we thought in 2016 that close to 1 million was unthinkable. Nobody could surpass that, but here we are at this point in time. So for them, they say they're going to accept the position. They will do an introspection as a political party, and then determine or chart the path forward. And he's also urging the members of the party to perhaps slow down on the blame game, and would see how eventually it will go. But I would sincerely hope that we are able to sort out these remaining constituencies once and for all. Look, we are all tired.
Exactly so.
We want to be done with this. We thought that by the 8th of December everything was going to be settled, and then we can celebrate our Christmas in peace. But clearly, there were other issues that have emerged, and so hopefully we'll be able to sort out the remaining Dom Kwabenya and then Ablekuma North. But at Ablekuma North, I shudder to think how they would resolve that. We've heard the returning officer say that he doesn't have some of the pink sheets, and until he gets those he cannot continue. I see that he's settled in the, at the far end of the room, and so I don't know how that will be resolved. As for Dom Kwabena, I don't really know what is holding them back with regard to the process. But so far, 7 in favor of the governing New Patriotic Party, and so we'll see how the rest would go.
Right. Thank you very much, Nadide. So, IB Nadide been here with me and giving assessment and analysis about the process so far. We are still waiting here for the 2 outstanding to continue, or still
it doesn't look like to happen today. So from here you can go and rest.
Right. So from here at the Greater Accra Regional Office of the Electoral Commission, my name is Obed Kingaglu. Back to you in the studio.
Get ready for the ultimate celebration of African culture, the African Festival. 3 spectacular nights await you at the Accra International Conference Center. 2 electrifying plays by Lateef Abubakar on the 28th. Don Quixote, Africa, and 29th of December. Ghana Must Go. And 30th December, the Afro Night concert featuring the legendary Yvonne Chaka Chaka. Experience more magic as you step into the den of history. Embrace adventure with Camel Rise in the desert. Marvel at the iconic pyramid of Giza. Nelson Mandela captures site. Explore the food festival, a world of fun for the kids and more. Dial *714 *70#.